folks, Man United. Right, I'm not going to focus on yesterday's game. Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday's game. Just more cack after loads of previous cack. Disappointing yet again. I think the season now is virtually a write-off. I think it's all down to this Europa League. I think we're pinning our hopes on winning that, getting in the Champions League through the back door, and that'll be a success in what's been a really poor season. I think that's what they're looking at doing. I've heard stuff on TalkSport amongst others this morning, and they're talking about whether Amorim will still be in a job next year or whatever else. I think they're going to keep him in it because of how much faith they put in the guy. I think they know everything's falling. I think they know he's battling manfully. He's struggling with things. It's not going to work. And I really do think they're going to write this year off. I think they're going to give him a proper pre-season to see how he does. See can he get the players playing the way he'd like them to play. I think they're going to probably get at least one more signing in today, but I don't know who. And then I would imagine they'll be looking at 3 to 4 signings in the next transfer window. Early doors, I would imagine. Try and integrate him into the team, into the system, and he'll get players that are more suited to it. And I really do think the board are really, really hoping that they go for his talisman at Sporting. The goal scorer, Old Victor. I'm not even going to try and say his last name because I'll get it wrong. It's patently obvious we need a goal scorer. There's no doubt about that. And the thing is, with what we've got at the moment, not only have we got 2 people who aren't really goal scorers playing up front, the players that really can't create from deep themselves. I've seen Old Victor get 2 or 3 goals this year where he's received the ball 30 or 40 yards out, ran at the heart of the central defence, bustled past them or gone round them and still finished off and scored. We've got nobody really doing that, so he can create on his own. I think that's what they're hoping is going to happen. I really, really do. But I'm looking at today, I want to focus more on the transfer window, and it's still a bit of a worry. I mean, like, I see Rashford has now gone. You never thought it would happen, but it's happened. I've seen some pictures. I think some folk are saying he doesn't look well, he doesn't look at his best, looks a bit unfit. And looking at the pictures, I thought the same myself. He's pulling a very strange face there. He looks bigger within the face. He looks like he's put on a bit of timber, just like myself. And I'm thinking, well, are the rumours right? Has he not been training? Has he not been putting a shift in? We know he's not been playing, but he doesn't look the svelte figure that he normally does, or he didn't to me in the pictures, but he's only sat down. You don't know. But he's gone. I believe they're paying up to 3/4 of his wage. Well, that will help, no doubt. There's still that chance Garnacho may go, and that's what they're saying, especially if Chelsea come in. And I'd say, well, that's all well and good. I mean, I read if Garnacho went, he could free up as much as 150, 200 million. That's great. But if he goes later today, number one, there's probably not a lot of players out there that can be signed at the moment. There's not a lot of IM players, and you can buy IM players for 100, 150 million. But we're not going to have the time to do the deals anyway. We're not going to have the time for really good players. Now, I read they might be getting this, they're looking at this this young fella from Bayern. The thing is, it's all well and good they might get him. I mean, Bayern wants him gone permanent and whatever else, but I look at the numbers, he's not really played all year. Has he not scored a goal all year? Has he scored 1? They're also looking at, what else was he looking at? Nkunku for Chelsea. He's not getting on a regular basis. Jackson is in front of him. I heard they were looking at a fella the other day that's playing in Germany. I can't remember the fella's name. Or is it Italy? I think it's Germany. And he's got something like 3 goals in 14 games and 1 assist. And I'm thinking, but do we want that? 3 goals in 14 games? What kind of return is that? And the league he's playing in is an easier league than the Premier League. I thought, well, he's not going to come and fill us full of goals. So this guy from Bayern isn't scoring goals when he's playing. He's not got a great goals ratio. And Nkunku hasn't done particularly well at Chelsea, which is why he's not getting in. We've already got Højlund and Xerxes, who we're saying now aren't fully fledged centre forwards. Højlund could be, but he's young. He's not banging the goals in. Xerxes isn't an out-and-out goal scorer. Do we want somebody else coming here for a few million quid that can't score? Aren't we as well just sitting it out and waiting out for next year for Old Victor? Because we're going to buy somebody else that really, if someone like Old Victor comes in, that whoever we buy is not going to get game time. At least I wouldn't have thought so. Seems a bit strange. Who else did one look at? I mean, we were talking about we wanted, it was going to happen, we were talking Casemiro out, maybe Xerxes, Malacia, Lindelof. They might not want to get rid of a Lindelof now because of the injury to Martinez over the weekend. They might want the extra cover. Malacia, I believe he was nearly gone and it fell apart, but I think he's still possibly going to go before the window was closed. Casemiro, you don't know whether they're coming and going with him, but they was hoping to get 20, 30, 40 million for him from the Far East. But if he does go, it's going to be too late for us to use the money. And Xerxes now, it's at the 50-50 whether they want him gone or not. There was reports that Juve wanted him, among others. We've not managed to move anybody out, really. We've got Anthony out, loaned out. We've got Rashford loaned out, and not much else is happening. It's a bit of a worry. Seeing the pictures yesterday, the two latest signings, they've signed this, what's the guy's name? Aidan Heaven from Arsenal. I think he's only played once for Arsenal, a young lad. He's got size about him and whatever else, and potential. I heard a piece on him from an Arsenal website the other day. They said he looks to be a cracker, and they gutted he's gone. But that said, he's not been playing for Arsenal yet, so I mean, he's not getting in the first team. We're buying there really a young kid with potential, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong, and we're not paying fortunes, but is he for now? I'm not so sure. And I look at Dargo, I've seen pictures of him, I've seen a bit of footage, and he looks pretty good. I believe he's got loads of stamina, can get up and down that wing, great in defence, great in attack. It may help the forwards, somebody that really can play that wing-back role. But I looked at the pictures yesterday and I thought, unless that Evans really, 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 really tall, was Dargo stood in a hole? They were pitching next to each other at Old Trafford there, on the turf there before the game. I didn't see them before the game, but I seen the picture and I thought, it was like the old, what's it called? The old, not cartoon, the old, I know what I mean, sketch, the old sketch from years ago with Cleese, Barker and Corbett. One of them was missing, but we had, what's it called there? We had Cleese and we had Corbett. That's how it looked. The difference in height was massive. I thought that Dargo always looked like a big fella and well built. He didn't look that tall though, next to the old lad from Arsenal. Anyway, he'll probably be pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing him. We need somebody that can get up and down that wing, can defend and attack at the same time. I believe he's got loads of stamina, and I believe his coaches rave about him at club level and international level, so he could be a good signing. But we need more. The window closes tonight, and I'm thinking, who are we going to get? Where are we going to get them from? I don't mind loan signings if they're really going to add something to the team. I don't mind permanent signings and spending millions if they're really going to be good players and if they're going to get game time. I don't really want to spend a few £1 million on a player that when the next window opens and we buy the players that we really want, the player that we're spending money on today, if we do spend any money, isn't going to get any game time. Because that's somebody else that we've got on the books that we've paid a few £1 million for, probably give them a good wage, and then they're not needed. So we're going to be in the same boat with them as we are with all the ones we've got now. We're not going to be able to move them on. We're in a position at the moment where we're paying too much for players, but more than that, we're putting them on too much money, or we have been. And then when we want to get rid, nobody can afford the wages. Absolutely bloody crazy. If nobody can afford the wages, that is telling us that we're spending too much on the wages. And we're over a barrel with everybody. We've got to contribute towards people's wages. Absolutely bloody silly. Really is. So it's a concern for me. I think the season's dead. In the league, obviously, we're still going to be faced with lots of losses by the looks of things. And I think we just need one fantastic pre-season and a fantastic transfer window. And maybe, just maybe, if he's right, old Ruben, and it's got to be in a case of old Ruben we trust at the moment, he might just turn us around with a pre-season. If we can win that Europa League this year, that's what's needed, with them back in the Premier competition. But the next few weeks are going to be worrying, I'll tell you. And the later today's going to be worrying, because I think we need more in there, judging by the weekend's performance and the bulk of the performances over the last sort of 4 or 5 months. That said, I suppose we could be City. First 10 or 12 games this year, you thought, business as usual. What's happened to them? Completely fallen off a cliff. And I mean, completely. How can you go from 5 or 6 years British domination to just sinking to the bottom of the sea just like they've done? It's just unbelievable. Never mind a few injuries. I mean, the few injuries look catastrophic to them, and you look at them over the park, and they look like they've got no legs as a team. There's no pace in the team at all. Is it just that the Premier League have found them out? Is that what it is? Have the managers took 5 or 6 years to find them out? Now they've been found out? Because something's amiss there. Really is. Anyway, I'm I'm not bothered about them. I don't have brought them up. They're not my team. United are my team. And I'm hoping for more. But I'm worried before we get to the stage where we get more. Hopefully we will get to that stage where we get more. We need to be back where we belong, not where we are at the moment. Anyway, let's see what the window brings, and let's see if I'm reporting some good news tomorrow. Let's see if they've got one or two players that I'm looking forward to seeing. I'd love it to happen. I can't see it. And I do hope they don't sacrifice Garnacho and they've got no replacements, because that to me just seems a bit crazy. Let's see. You never know. There might be plans afoot. There might be. Let's hope there is.